We all knew they were going to hike anyway.
Yes.
The question is, when do they follow up? And if they do follow up, I just want to bring up one of your charts that you sent us. G#BTV 3994. There we go. So this is Nomura's BOK signal index. What am I looking at here?
Well, the BOK signal index is basically we put some of the macro data that what the BOK is really closely looking at. And also, we put our some kind of bias of the MPC members.
Okay.
So this MBSI, right, Nomura BOK Signal Index, strongly suggests the rate hike this month. So we were closely looking at this index going forward. But our baseline view is that there's no hurry for the BOK to hike interest rate going forward, right? This rate hike is pretty much a lift off. And then we believe the next rate hike will be the second half of next year, given that, number one, the Korean won is quite strong now, right? So it's some kind of downside risk to inflation. And number two is the housing market in Korea. We believe there is some kind of mild correction, given that the Korean government already implemented a series of tightening measures on mortgages, and also home market. And then now it's a BOK hiked the interest rate. That will have some kind of negative impact on consumption and also construction investment.
So before we move into the economy, just quickly, you see one more second half of next year?
Yes.
And is that the last in this tightening cycle, or do they sneak in one more after that?
For now, we believe the terminal rate of this hiking cycle will be 2%. We will get there in 2019. So this terminal rate, obviously, is compared to the previous hiking cycle, is much lower than that. But there's an obvious reason, right? Number one is the potential economic growth in South Korea continue to going down because of the aging population.
It's a demographic issue.
Exactly. And then number two, we also think about the housing market, right? And number three is the inflation outlook. Right? We believe that the inflation will gradually going up, but it's not like far higher than 2% of the BOK target. So overall, I mean, we believe the 2% terminal rate is pretty much in line with when the economy is just on a potential level, and then the inflation is stabilized at a target level. There is a 2%.
We will get an update on inflation and GDP tomorrow. I just want to ask you as well on that. Real rates are negative at the moment. Is that a problem?
Well, it's a real interest rate is everywhere is negative. Most of the countries, the real interest rate is, I think, is negative, right? So we compare the South Korea versus its trading partners. We have another index. But anyway, simply speaking, right, Korea is not the only country to have a negative real interest rate. There's a very good reason why we have a negative interest rate, right? Because even though the export is quite okay in the South Korea, but the domestic demand and the job market is not that strong enough to support the high inflation.